Everybody, a few minutes late, but welcome to YouTube Tuesday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. I don't know if you can tell, but April Fools, we thought it was spring, and this morning we woke up and it's snowing, and we have 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So with the wind chill, it feels in the single digits today. It was like 4 degrees this morning, and I think it's like 10 degrees now. So cold. So, I wish spring were here. I think next week it's supposed to be better. But in spite of the cold, I do have some sweet and simple spring treats to share with you. I'm going to use the Storybook Moments collection again and share a sweet and simple card, as well as an idea for a quick and easy treat. Something fun, a sweet for your sweet. So I hope you'll enjoy those. And let me go ahead and flip the camera and we will get started here. All right, I hope you're having a great day. And if you are tuning in live or watching the replay, go ahead and let me know. All right, and we'll get these lights set up. Excuse me, trip over my own stool. All right, so like I said, we are going to be using the Storybook Moments. All right, and let there be light. Okay, so gotta love the Storybook Moments collection. In fact, it's been so popular that the paper pack keeps going out of stock. However, the coordinating timeless plaid that goes along with that, this is in stock. Hi, Kim. Hello, hello. Yes, so I'm going to be using a combo of these items for a couple of just quick cards. Life seems to be so crazy busy these days. I don't know about you, but for me, there just does not seem to be enough hours in the day. I don't know where it goes. All right, so just a quick thought too. We are winding down on Stampin' Up's host code and the switch over to a new rewards program that is taking place here in the States on April 15th. And so all codes, everything, it needs to be closed out this weekend. All right, I believe the deadline is Sunday the 13th, and that's cutting it close. And then 14th will be kind of a switch over, and the new program goes live on the 15th. So if you'd like to take advantage of my host code and my current rewards, where you get your free tutorials, your free workshop of the month kit, and your free embellishment. All right, all the details there are in the video description. Make sure you place your order here no later than April 13th and use host code VWYNTMGW. All right, we do have the last chance sale going on, and honestly, things are kind of flying off the shelves. So if you are interested in any of those items, all right, and I just started pulling things off my shelves to kind of get an idea of what I had left that was current, and more is retiring than I thought. So that's part of the reason why I was a little bit delayed with our video today, is because I'm trying to figure out what to show you, and I wanted to show you perhaps some retiring items, but so many of the parts of the bundles and things are sold out that it made it a little bit hard. So I'm going to show you this quick and cute card. Now, I originally designed this with some boho blue cardstock as the base. However, boho blue is one of our retiring colors, and the cardstock has already sold out. All right, so if you are interested in boho blue, which you can see a little bit of the difference here, all right, you can still get the Stampin' Blends. All right, the boho blue blends. In fact, I believe those are on sale. Instead of 9, they're like $7.50. I actually might order another pack of those because it's just the bright shade of blue. I really like that. So don't delay. So I'm going to use Misty Moonlight instead. Misty Moonlight is the darker complement here of the boho blue. All right, so I'm using Misty Moonlight as my card base. Hello, hello. Oh, good. Doris got her order of boho blue cardstock in before it went out. Good for you, Doris. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Karen. All right. You didn't get notified I was going live. Well, Alrighty. Well, I am a little bit late, so I'm sorry if I cut into your lunch break there, but you can always go back and watch the replay. All right, let me stop chatting here and go ahead and fold this card base. So, Misty Moonlight, your standard 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And let's glue this layer down. You can see I used a piece of leftover scrap, so I've got a little bit of markings on one side. Not sure how that got there, but we're gonna put that face down in the card base and nobody'll be any the wiser, right? Yes, Sandy, I will so miss boho blue too. That is one of my favorites, but I have learned to hang on to my retiring colors because just like strawberry slush, you never know. They might give it another year or two and they might bring it back and make it a reintroduced color. So, all right, so like I said, this is the Timeless Plaid. It goes along with the Storybook Moments collection as well. And I used this sheet. These are 6 by 6. And this is a combo of Pecan Pie, Misty Moonlight, and the Boho Blue. So I really like these. It can be used for all kinds of things. All right, so for this, I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to glue this onto the front. All right, you'll be surprised. I'm not using any ribbon on this card today. I know, what? No ribbon? Like I said, we're just keeping it plain and simple. Okay, so for our focal point, I have used some basic white. That is 3 by 4 1/4. And I am mounting that on a layer of Pecan Pie that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So just a little bit larger. Yeah, it's improvising all the time. Always can find a color. I love that so many of the colors, that's what I love about Stampin' Up. That's what one of the things that got me hooked is that the colors always coordinate. And I love how on the back of a paper pack, they will list the coordinating colors, which is awesome. But quite often there are different shades in the paper pack too. So even though it might say boho blue, of course, the darker there is Misty Moonlight. So you can always have different shades that aren't listed because all of Stampin' Up's papers work so perfectly together. Okay, so I just had my storybook friends and I got to thinking before I glue this down that maybe I should stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and just do Hello Friend. Again, that's sweet and simple, can be used for any occasion. And the sentiments in this bundle really are quite nice. All right, not to mention, look at how many stamps and dies in this bundle. Isn't that fabulous? If you don't have the Storybook Friends already, definitely make sure you add that to your list. Okay, so talking about ink, I do still have my boho blue ink pad. I have that handy right here. So I think I will use that because I'm not sure where my Misty Moonlight one is. And the reason I'm going to stamp first, thank you for liking and sharing. I always forget to mention that. All right, so I'm going to stamp this down here, bottom, center. Oh, I think I did a pretty good job. Came out pretty straight, looks good, nice and clean. You know, it's funny. I've been a demonstrator for, it'll be 19 years in August. And I've been stamping and scrapbooking for even longer. And I still get excited when I stamp the perfect one. Do you guys still get excited? Do you have this like little victory dance when you stamp your sentiment just perfectly? Yep, I still get excited. All right, so now that we've got that stamped, all right, always good to stamp it first because then you can flip it over. Paper has 2 sides, so you always get 2 tries. All right, now we'll glue them together. And then I'm gonna pop this up. Love me some dimensionals, so let's go ahead and pop this panel up. I like to do 5, 1 on each corner, 1 in the middle. Okay, this is gonna go front and center here. Okay. right, so I had this little leftover strip after cutting that 6x6 timeless plaid down. All right, we ended up with, I've got a little 2x6 strip and a 3/4 by 4 strip. So I'm gonna trim this so it can go across that front panel. So let me trim that down to 3. All right, that fits nicely across there, and a great way to use those leftover little bits too. Okay, so I'm gonna place this just above my sentiment. So like I said, I'm not using any ribbon, but I'm using that designer series paper kind of in place of ribbon. Okay, and now it's time to pick out a cute little critter to go right there in the middle. So what we have from this, of course, 2 of the sheets in the paper pack are full die cut sheets, and those are amazing. And I do have some, I use the little clear envelopes to store all of my leftover bits and bobs. So I do have a couple little pieces of these die cuts left after I made my whole, remember I made all of these cards. And actually I should put a plug in. I have 1 kit left, 1 more kit. It's $49. It includes all of the pre-cut ready to go materials to make 13 cards. 13 cards. You get a full sheet of the die cuts, a pack of the antique pearls. You get some ribbon in there. You get the whole works. Everything ready to go, including the cute little Beatrix Potter bag. I will put that link in the video description as well. But I have 1 kit left. It's $49 plus shipping. All right, and if you're interested in that, especially since you can't get the paper pack currently, I believe it's going to be restocked on May 12th. All right, so if you're holding out for it. Okay, so these are the die cuts that I have left. So I think I'm going to pick a couple of those. And if you've used all your die cuts up, if you have the paper and you've used all the die cuts, then you could also use the fun little chipmunk paper as well as the rabbits, and you could fussy cut your own little scenes. All right, so there's lots of options here. These are just so cute. Actually, these fun little blueberries, that would be cute on there too. I mean, but they're so sweet. They really are. So let's go ahead and decide if we should. Actually, I think a couple of these would be really cute, right? I've got a little squirrel with her bonnet and her basket of flowers. I mean, that would just, keeping it super simple, that would go really well right there. All right, or I do have the little chipmunk, and that would be cute with him snatching, I say him, I don't know why, but little chipmunk there snatching the acorn out of the tree. I mean, I don't know that I need to add anything to it. Some of these are just super cute on their own. So go ahead and vote. What do you think? Should I do Miss Squirrel or Little Mr. Chipmunk? What would be your choice there? Hi, Polly. Hello, hello. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to use one of these die cuts. Like I said, keep it super simple. We can use the little squirrel, or that chipmunk is super fun. And I kind of like how it looks like the branch is growing out of the pecan pie, like the tree above. All right, so Doris likes the squirrel. Kim likes the squirrel. All right. Oh, Paul, we got a couple votes for chipmunk. Now we're tied. All right, we need one more vote, okay? Squirrel or chipmunk. We need somebody to break the tie. Okay. Oh, we got another chipmunk. Okay, I think that's 3 chipmunks to 1 squirrel. So we're going with the chipmunk. Doris says she votes again. You're cheating, Doris. No, I appreciate all of you who chime in and leave me your comments. I love it all. Thank you so much. Especially if you tune in each week and you watch my videos regularly. It means a lot to me. All right, so let's go ahead and put this cute little chipmunk here. I guess I should put his feet. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna have him so he's like on his hind leg. I mean, although right, squirrels only have 2 little back legs, but he's on one and he's reaching. Do you guys tell stories when you make cards? I feel like every card has a story, especially when I'm working with little critters like this. Always tell a story. Okay, well, there we have. I mean, you can't get any simpler than that. Just a little bit of stamps. All right, we did a little stamp, ink, and paper. Love that. All right, super, super duper cute. Okay, so let me show you a cute little treat to go along with this. And let's pick a paper here. Let's go ahead with this. It's fine. I love, love, love this strawberry print. Especially because, I don't know, I think it's a thing. My great-grandmother used to live in Plant City, Florida. And she would always send me, well, actually, it was my aunt, my great-aunt Al. But my great-grandparents retired to Florida. And so a couple of my aunts, my great-aunts, moved down there too. And anyways, Plant City was the home of the Strawberry Festival. And I think it always happened sometime like end of February, early March. And here in New York, we don't get strawberries until late June. So I was always a little jealous that they had strawberries so much earlier than we did. But Aunt Elle especially loved anything strawberry themed. And so she would always send me, I don't know, cute little postcards and newspaper clippings. And I think she even sent me like a little ink stamp once. But anyways, I'm going to cut this paper. I know. I was like, oh, I'm going to cut it into 6 by 6, okay? And then I am going to show you the quickest, easiest little treat ever. And that is if I can find my tear and tape. All right, that is what I need. You guys may have seen in the catalog that Stamp It Up showed some cute little treats. Okay, so I only have like 3 partially used rolls of tear and tape floating around my craft room at any given moment, but of course it's always hard to find. Always hard to find one. Okay, so if you take a 6 by 6 square of designer, and now I'm looking at these cute little bunnies, and well, we'll have to make 2 treats because they're both too cute. But you're gonna take your 6 by 6 and fold it in half here, but you don't want to score it, okay? You don't want it to be flat. Hi, Nancy. When do you guys leave for Scotland? I was thinking, I don't remember if I messaged you those trip recommendations. All right, so you're gonna take your 6 by 6, fold it in half, but not burnish it, okay? And then we are going to put some tear and tape down here on this bottom edge, okay? So just out to the edge, and that's why tear and tape's great, because you just stick it down and tear it off where you want it, okay? All right, and if you have trouble, my fingernails don't always seem to work. If you have trouble removing the backing of your tear and tape, the spatula end here of the Take Your Pick tool works fabulous for that. And actually, I think I want to do one more line too. All right, let's see. So we're gonna go up, but I don't necessarily want to go all the way to the top. So let's go about 1 inch from the top. Okay. All right, so we're going to gently tack this down. All right, and just kind of pinch it along the bottom. and pinch that along the top, okay, along the side. So like I said, you didn't score it, okay? And then we're gonna take that here. I should not have folded it all the way. Whoops. Okay, here we go. You wanna go like this? All right, let's do a bunny one here. Am I doing this correctly? Here we go. I was gonna make these sweet and simple little sour cream containers, and you fold one end one way, and then you pinch the other end the other way. All right, so you pinch one end, and then you pinch, there we go, and then you pinch the other end. So let's do this. I'm using this side. So for the bunnies, here we go. I should have practiced this before I went live, but I'm like, no, they're sweet and simple. I haven't made these in forever. Okay, so put your tear tape on one end. All right, here we go. Then gently fold the other end over it. Here we go. There we go. Pinch it. Okay. That's what we needed to do. I put the tape on the wrong side. So eventually you do want to put adhesive on the bottom. Okay, a little bit in there. Just tear a little piece off. All right, so I did have that. I just glued the side, put my adhesive on the wrong place. All right, grab that. So I did have it right the first time. Okay, pinch it one way. Okay, and then rotate it, there we go, and pinch it the opposite way. There we have it. Okay, and then, so we used to have this tool called the crimper. It was kind of made like a little corrugated fold in there so that you could reopen the container. So I'm just gonna fold this edge over, all right? Because if you put tear and tape on there, then a kid's just gonna rip the top off, and you made these cute little treats and you don't really wanna rip the top, right? So if you just fold over the edge even, just a little quarter fold, then you don't need any adhesive, and you can just pop it back open, all right? And you can fill it with any kind of cute little treats. You could put a little bag of gummies in there. You could put some individually wrapped candies, you know, some Hershey's Kisses or any little kind of fun chocolate things. And then all you gotta do is just pinch it back and fold over the edge. All right, let me show you that one more time from the top without confusing you all. So if you lasted this far through the video, good, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll do the strawberry one again. In this case, kind of pinch it, but don't crease it, okay? And what we are going to do, we want to glue side to side. So you want to put your tear and tape along one edge, okay? This is right side up, so put tear and tape along one edge of the right side up. Okay, so that's gonna go like this. Okay, and then you do want to put wrong side up. Okay, you want to put a little bit of tear and tape in there, just along that short half of it, right? Just along short side. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the long side first. Okay. All right, so just fold this over gently. All right, you don't want to pinch it too much, just enough so that the layers overlap a little bit. All right, and then this helped. We've already got that little bit of tear and tape on the inside there. So that makes it so much easier. Take your pick tool, reach in there. Can you see that? Reach in there to remove that little bit of tape, okay? And then go ahead, there we go, and pinch the end, okay? All right, there we go. So it's pinched on this end. It's like those little sour cream containers that, or, well, okay, but they don't get really, sometimes you can still get them, those little itty bitty sour cream containers. At school we had these fun little, like, I want to say they were like a frozen ice pop type thing that came in a little container like this, and then you would push on the end to push the icy up. All right, but then so you fold it one way, right? Almost like a chocolate bar slider, but then you turn it and you pinch it the other way, all right, to make the treat container, and then just fold over the edge about 1/4 of an inch. Now you could use a little paper clip or a binder clip. You could fold it further, right? You could make it like a 1/2 inch fold and put a staple in there. But again, a staple, you're gonna have to rip it open. So I would recommend just something temporary, right? Like a little clip that you could put on there. Okay, and then you could use, well, especially if you've used the Storybook Friends dies, and maybe you've got a bunch of these little, I saved the insides from all of the die cut frames. Okay, so I have all of these cute little pieces, and you could do something like that and take one of your cute little critters. Oh, that would be cute. Could put a little duck on there. All right, keep that down. All right, put this down far enough so that you could put a little hole in the top there. All right, and guess what? I don't have my hole punch handy, so we're gonna just pierce with the paper piercer. All right, probably good to have something underneath so you don't pierce your finger through. Guess what? We're gonna use a dimensional since my paper piercing pad is not right here. All right, that's the rough way to make a hole, but it's the perfect size. All right, so that you can then take some linen thread or something, or your little white twine. You don't need very much. All right, grab your shears. Maybe I'm gonna poke them through one end first, halfway, okay? Just like you're making a tag, right? And then tie a little knot. Come on here, a little knot in one end. Pull that tight. All right, then use the loop, pull the knot through the loop. There you go. Then you've got the cutest little tag. So let me grab just a cute little clip. Okay. So even if you don't have a fancy clip, you've probably got a junk drawer full of miscellaneous little office supplies. All right, and so I'm going to open this. There we go. And so that I can put this through, thread it through. Okay, that way it's on the paper clip, so it's not just gonna fall off. And then decide which side you want. There you go. And just add your cute little clip. All right, how cute is that? Quick and easy. Would be a fun treat for the kiddos or friends at the office, right? Just fill with whatever little candies. You could probably even put a little pair of socks or something something fun in there. All right, and then do the same thing with this one. We need a little bunny. All right, I think I'm out of the little bunny die cuts, so let's grab these. And how about little rabbit with the radishes? All right, so we're just going to kind of randomly cut around. All right, you don't have, just don't cut the tip of the radish off. All right, so there's not dies for every single little scene on the papers, but they are so cute. They're not that hard to just kind of fussy cut. You don't have to get super fussy. All right, I'm probably the world's worst fussy cutter here. But it still turned out cute. All right, and then grab a dimensional or two. I'm not gonna put it all the way down at the very bottom because if it falls off the end of the tag, although this one's a little taller, so I think I've got room here. Okay, make sure you're doing this over something. You don't wanna stab your finger, all right? Something to protect. You don't wanna stab right through your nice wood table or anything either, so make sure you've got something underneath, all right? Dimensionals work great in a pinch if you don't have your little foam mat. Okay, give yourself some twine. Really, the length of the twine is just how much you need to actually manipulate it with your fingers. You need it long enough that you can tie a knot in the end there. All right, thanks, Doris. Doris is my cheerleader. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Nancy said her granddaughter made these little treat holders for one of the school parties. Perfect. Okay. Oh, and you leave May 1st on your trip. Glad your knee replacement is going well and you're healing up quick. Good to hear. All right. So again, slide that through. Okay. Get it to cooperate. Sometimes it likes to twist. Okay. Then stick the knot through the loop. Pull tight. There we go. This one ended up a little shorter than my other one. And then, again, quick paper clip. Of course, you could get fancy colored paper clips or something if you wanted to do that. But if you were, again, needed a something quick, okay, and just thread that through the paper clip so it doesn't fall off. And then pinch this on the top and away you go. All right, so thank you all for bearing with me this afternoon. All right, but I hope you do like the projects once we got our groove on. All right, even after 19 years, sometimes it takes me a moment to get my brain to work. All right, so we used the little die cuts from the Storybook Friends paper along with the Timeless Plaid paper to make this super simple little treat, little card here, and then a couple of coordinating treats where, yes, it did take me a couple of tries, but we got it figured out. All right, you just need your designer paper. 6x6 is the perfect size. If you're working with 12x12 like I was, you can get 4 treats out of 1 sheet of paper. But if your paper is already a 6x6, you don't need to do any cutting at all. All right, just grab yourself some tear and tape. I do recommend that because that is the most secure hold. All right, but again, you put tear and tape along one side, okay, so that you can just gently overlap your edges, okay, and you put tear and tape along the bottom half, okay, just half of one end. All right, so you end up with it like this and like that. and then you go ahead and you pinch it the opposite way, and you end up with the cutest little containers. And you can use all your little leftover bits and bobs from the Storybook Friends to make the cutest little tags, okay? So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you love it, and make a few of these because even as an adult, I love treats, right? Who doesn't? So you don't have to be a kid. It doesn't have to be treats just for kids. But go ahead, make some treats for your friends too. And I'm sure they will be happily surprised. All right, well, thank you all again. As Karen reminded us earlier, if you enjoyed the projects and my videos, don't forget to give me that thumbs up, right? That like, subscribe, and share. Nancy said her granddaughter used little binder clips. Yep, absolutely. The small ones would work perfectly for this. Yep, so a great way to clean out your junk drawer, true. If you've got leftover paper clips or binder clips, or or of course you could get fancy special metallic or colored ones too. Those would work as well. All right, thank you so much. Just reading back through your comments to see, yes, Nancy says that the Storybook Friends, the stamps, dies, and the paper pack is amazing. I agree. I've made so many projects with it. It's fantastic. Alrighty. Oh, Doris. Ooh, I'm dropping off some goodies at Doris's house, and she's going to have some goodies for me too. All right. Thank you all. I look forward to stamping with you again on Friday. Again, just a couple days left to get in on my host code and get some treats from that. And then I'll be telling you all about the new rewards program next week. So thank you. Again, I will put a link to my Storybook Friends class in the video description, okay? If the link is there, then the kit is available. All right, I will delete it as soon as it's done. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.